Hello codegurus, welcome back. So as discussed in our previous video tutorial, we are going to start with Quasar Basics. So again, we are not going with in-depth Quasar Basics, just the minimal basics which are required for us to go ahead and start constructing our responsive UI. So as a part of that, we will first start with the project structure, and then we will proceed to layouts and pages. And then the very important one is your view components and few out of the box styles which are provided by our Quasar framework. All right, then let's proceed to the project structure. So here what I've done is I've already opened our codeguru project which we have created in our previous video tutorials. First, let's proceed to the SRC folder. So this SRC folder contains again a n number of folders below it. So these are by default created by your Quasar CLI when you create a sample application. So the first folder over here is your assets folder. So what is this folder used for? These are generally used for dynamic assets like your SVG files, which can be processed by your Webpack. And the next folder is your boot folder. So what is this boot folder? So let's say you want to initialize some code when your view application is starting. So this is the folder where you go ahead and do that app initialization code over here. So the next folder over here is components. As the name suggests, it's for components. So let's say you want to create any view component which can be utilized at multiple different pages. This is the location where you need to go ahead and create all your view components. So the next important folder is your CSS. So here there are two files. So the first file over here is your, let's say you want to create some SAS related variables over here. This is the location you need to go ahead and modify. So this is the location for the global variables which are by default created by your Quasar. You can go ahead and modify the other file if needed. You want to create something specific to your application. So again, the next folder is we have something called as layouts. So again, the name itself suggests it's used for creating layout. So what is this layout and what is this pages? We will be discussing in another couple of minutes in this session. So now the next important folder is your router. So now that we are creating a single page application, we need to define the navigation, right? So that navigation related code is defined inside this routes.js file. So this router folder is the one which contains all the information related to your navigation inside your single page app or your mobile app. So the next important folder we have is called as statics. So the name itself suggests it's used for the artifacts which never change, like your PNG images over here which we have created. So this PNG images don't change. So all the static content should be placed inside your statics. So generally your PNG, there is no meaning putting your PNG file inside your assets and asking your Webpack to process it, right? So that is the reason why they have created us this statics folder. So the next important file under your SRC is your app.view. So what is this app.view? It is your root component of your entire Vue.js application. So this is the location where your entire view acts like your root node. So apart from this SRC, you could see over here there are something like SRC-Cordova, SRC-Electron. So as you guys know already, you can create different kind of applications using Quasar framework. Like you can create by default it's a single page application, then it is SRC. If you want to create a mobile application, generally your Quasar uses a hybrid mobile application strategy, which underneath uses a different framework called as Cordova, which enables us to create hybrid mobile application for both Android as well as iOS. Similarly, if you want to create a desktop application, again, Quasar framework internally uses a Electron framework, which is again a JavaScript based framework for creating desktop application. So if you want to create something specific, if you want to configure something specific to those applications, this is the folder location where you need to go ahead and do those modifications. Now, apart from this SRC folder, there is one more very important folder which you guys need to be aware of, that is test. So whenever you want to create a production based application, so when I say production based application, like if you want to deploy this application into production, you need to go ahead and do a Quasar space build. So this is the location which it creates the final artifact which can be deployed into your production environments. So as you can see over here, as of now, I have created only a single page application. So that is the reason why it is inside your SPF folder and all the artifacts are below it. So if you can see image and the CSS and all the fonts, so it just does a meaningful composition of all those folder structure and gives a beautiful application in a production optimized way. It compresses even things and gives everything to us. So remember, this is the location where you need to look for your final artifact generation. So apart from that, so there are few other folders you could see with the .config folders. So they are the respective folders for creating or modifying the appropriate configuration. So here you can see .editor for your editor, for your ESLint. Let's say if you want to change some linting things over here, you can just come over here. Similarly, you have git ignore also. But out of this, one very important config.js is your quasar config.js. So this is the configuration file which defines the behavior of your entire Quasar application. So if you want to change something over here, let's say like for example, if you have created some boot files over here and you want your Quasar framework to pick that, so this is the location where you will be doing that. So don't worry, in our future sessions, we will be seeing how to create a boot file and how to configure that inside our Quasar.js. So this is just for your information. So this is the location which defines the behavior of your entire Quasar application. So I hope I have given you a higher overview of this entire folder structure and they now make more sense to you rather than like, oh, what is this? And doing a blind guess. So if and all you need more information, there is a separate page on Quasar website itself. So let's go to the docs section and all you have to type is your directory structure. So here you can see, so this is the location where they have even given more information, like let's say if you are confused anytime, you could always proceed to this location and try to identify what exactly that file makes sense. All right, now that we have seen the project structure, let's go ahead and look at your layouts. So what is this layouts? So again, this is a concept which is specific, which is not something specific to your Quasar framework. It is a generic concept. So what is a layout? So let's say if you want to give your entire web application or all the different pages on your web application with a consistent look. So your layouts are the mechanism to give a consistent look to your entire web application. So now if you observe our SRC folder, there is a folder called as layouts, and by default your skeleton application already has a layout. So if you go ahead and see your pages, your index.page does not contain how the header should look like, how the footer should look like. So for example, let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and start this Quasar application and look how this application looks like, and let's try to modify a few basic things. Okay, so just give it a couple of seconds for our Quasar application to boot, and post that we will go ahead and see how these layouts are affecting our application. So now that we have loaded our application, let's do one thing. So irrespective, so this menus over here, unfortunately, they're all external links. If you click them, they just go to the external links, so which we can't use now. Maybe in our future video tutorials, it makes more sense for us. So you can see by modifying this header section and see how these layouts are affecting our entire application. So let's proceed to the IDE. So on the layouts folder, you could see there is something called as Quasar app. Now let's go ahead and say that thing like codeguru.io, and let's save that. And now let's go to our browser. So here you could see this title bar, which is not there in our page code. So if you have seen our page code over here, which is your index.view, it doesn't have something related to your header section or something. It was being navigated by your layout over here. So now if you need more information about this layouts, again, on your Quasar website, there is a beautiful structure. There is a separate section for this layouts and pages. So here you could see there is a section called as layouts and grid, and you could see a lot of things related to this. So don't worry about this grade column. We will be looking at those things in another in our upcoming video tutorials, like especially when we are creating our hello welcome page or landing page as a part of this video tutorial. We will definitely be using those grid columns and grid rows and columns. So don't worry about that. We will come back and look at them. So here you could see this is a layout which is giving more information, what is it doing, what is it kind of helping us, and all the other things. So don't worry, we will be dealing with the layouts in our upcoming video tutorials. So let's concentrate only on, for time being, how these layouts are playing a pivotal role on defining my UI logic. So what I want to do is I want to change the UI of this entire page. So one thing is I should not go ahead and modify any logic. So one challenge which we are giving ourselves is like, this is our page code. So I don't want to modify even a single line on this page, but I want to change the entire UI of my web application. So how do I do that? So that is where your layouts comes into picture. So now let's go back to our Quasar website. So there is a section under layouts and grid called as layout gallery. So what these guys have done is they just went ahead and created some dummy layouts. They have just taken inspiration like YouTube, Google Play Store, and they have created a beautiful UI for us. So for time being, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and choose this Google Play. So you could see over here, they take us to the GitHub page. So what we will do is that I'll just literally copy this entire code which is available on this GitHub page and paste it inside our layout and see how it affects our application. So I'll just copy this thing, go back to our layout and replace the entire page logic over here and save it. That's it. Now let's go back to our application. If you see over here, just by modifying my entire layout, so I'm able to change the layout of my application. So you could literally see the power of layouts over here. Now I go ahead and create any page, it will have a consistent UI. So if you literally see your page is this center section over here, your layout is embedding inside it. So now that we have seen the power of layout, so what is a page? As I've already said, page is nothing but your main content section is logic is holded by your page. So now how do you create your own layouts and how do you create your own pages on your Quasar application? So again, just proceed to your project folder. Just ensure that you are inside your project folder. Yes. Now all you have to say is Quasar new. For creating layout, you just need to say new layout. So here I'll just simply say it as like maybe sample layout. So you could see over here your Quasar CLI again makes it very easy for us by creating the scaffolding for a file, view file for us. And also if you see over here, it even gives us a warning like make sure you reference this layout inside your router.js. Let's say if you want to apply that thing to any page. Similarly, if you want to create any page, all you have to say is just say create Quasar space new space page, and let's say I want to create a sign up and sign in page. So again, you could see over here it has easily created us the scaffolding folder called as signin.view and signup.view. Let's go to the IDE and verify them. So here you could see this is your sample layout which it has created for us, and it has even created a sign in and sign up using this Quasar CLI command. So with this, we have got a basic idea about how to create a page and how to create a layout and what kind of role your layout is playing inside your Quasar application. Let's say if you are interested in knowing more commands about your CLI, Quasar CLI, just go to a section called as Quasar CLI again. Under that Quasar CLI section, you could see something called as CLI documentation. And under the CLI documentation, you could see something called as commands list. So these are all the commands which are supported by your Quasar CLI. So again, they have beautifully structured their documentation and everything is having their own structure, which is kind of very easy. So if you want to know something about Quasar CLI, there is a separate section for it. If you want to know something about layouts, there is a separate section about it. So I hope this section of layouts and pages makes sense to you guys now. Now let's proceed to the next section of our video tutorial, which is your view components. So what is this view components? So if you see over here, one of the important power of your Quasar comes with this ready-made components which you get over here. Let's say if you want to create a let's say a button. So let's go ahead and click on this button. So these are the different buttons which you can go ahead and create inside your Quasar CLI. So all you have to do is just copy the location of. So let's do one thing. Let's copy this entire section and let's go to our index page, and just above the images, I just want to create that. So paste it, and now let's go to our application. So you could see all those buttons have been created. So it's very easy. So whenever I say view components, they are the ready-made components like your buttons or your badges or your banners or bars, which are provided as like a out of the box component which implements Material UI basics, Material UI design principles, and gives you those components out of the box. So by using these components, it's very easy for us to go ahead and create a beautiful web application. So don't worry, again, we will be using certain few components in our entire tutorial, entire upcoming video tutorial of creating this responsive UI. Especially we will be using buttons and few of the styles which are provided by it. So I hope this view components now makes more sense for you. So let it be you want to create any kind of let's say like you want to create a menu. So there is always a component for you which you can use readily inside your application. So now let's proceed to the final section of our Quasar basics. What is that? That is your styles. So what do you mean by styles? Your Quasar CLI, or sorry, your Quasar framework actually comes with your Quasar framework actually comes with few predefined styles for our application, so which you can apply inside your application. Let's say like you want to apply some typography. So rather than saying h1, h2 tag, you can just simply say div, and you can just simply say text h1. Let's go ahead and try to do that. So what I want to do is I just want to go ahead and create a div, and I'll just simply say hello, this is basic text. So I save that. Now let's go back to our web application and look how that looks like. So now it just looks like some plain text, right? So I want to make it as like a header. So how do I do that? So all I have to do is just simply say class, and it is text-h1. Just save it and go back to your browser. So now you could see that text has immediately changed to a h1 tag, or bold, bigger text for us. So like that, you can even apply, there are n number of colors which are provided, n number of styles which are provided out of the box. Again, when I started creating, we will be using most of the styles from this section in our responsive UI course from our upcoming video tutorial. So if you want to apply some spacing between your components, there is something called as padding or margin, and then similarly you can apply top, bottom, everything over here. So this Quasar style section, we will come back to it a number of times and try to utilize whatever the styles which they have provided to us. So if you see overall with this basics, everything is available inside our Quasar framework out of the box. All you have to do is just join those puzzles and you need to create a beautiful UI. That's it. I hope this Quasar Basics makes sense for you guys and gives a bit much more confidence in proceeding to our next section, where we will be creating a responsive toolbar. So what do you mean by responsive toolbar? If you see over here on the Quasar documentation section itself, this is the desktop mode. Now I'll just resize it. Now you could see, based on the size of your browser, your application was getting realigned. So this toolbar, you could see earlier they were all buttons. Now it is as a part of a single button, and it has its own, I can say it's like we call it as like a drawer. So those buttons have rearranged themselves inside this drawer. So in our upcoming video tutorial, we will start with the toolbar, which is responsive, and try to test it on your desktop as well as on your mobile applications on your Android as well as iOS. I hope you have enjoyed this session. If yes, please do not forget to like, comment, and share this video with your friends. And please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell icon in order to get instant notifications from our channel. And we are also available on Twitter at codeguru_io and on Facebook at codeguru.io. Thank you.